All right, let's do this. Live broadcast. Right, here we go. All right. Hello and welcome to the Algorand Proof of Stake Show, a show by algo devs for algo devs. Here we connect with the development teams building our decentralized future. We are dev focused, exploring the design decisions and the code enabling the projects and protocols advancing the Algorand ecosystem. I'm your host, Ryan Fox, developer advocate here at Algorand. On today's episode, we are focused on the decentralization of the Algorand network of nodes. My guest today is Alessandro Capoletto Ferrari, head of tooling at Algorand Foundation. Decentralization of the Algorand network is important to the vitality of the ecosystem. AlgoRun was recently introduced to enable one-click node operations of a network node capable of participating in consensus. Using AlgoRun, the Algorand Foundation hopes to lower the technical barriers of running a node, thereby enabling a more robust and decentralized network. Important stuff here today. Alessandro, welcome to the Algorand Proof of Stake Show.
Hi, Ryan. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
We are thrilled to have you. First time on the show, so we better learn a little bit about you. Where in the world are you joining us from?
All right. So we start straight away with difficult questions. Officially, my HQ is in Spain. I like to travel around Europe. So usually I ping pong between Spain, the UK, and Italy. At the moment, I'm in London.
Ah, very good. All right. Well, with a family name of Ferrari, I assume you are speeding around. Do you fancy motorsport?
Unfortunately, I'm not that Ferrari, but yes, motorsport is in my passion. It's probably even because of being Italian, but yes, I support Ferrari every occasion we have, and we recently won the Le Mans 24 hours, so extremely happy for a win.
Very exciting stuff. And since you're in the UK this week, will you be heading off to the track for the British Grand Prix?
I am trying to get tickets. It's kind of difficult to find them, but it's hopefully I'm able, at least for the qualifiers.
Very good. Well, at least both of us will be cheering for the red team come Sunday. All right. So, head of tooling. What does that mean? And what does your day look like at the Algorand Foundation?
All right. Head of tooling means that my main focus at the moment, and since I've joined, was AlgoKit. We've started discussing AlgoKit and what could be whilst I was interviewing with John and so during the interview process. So my day looks like wake up in the morning at 9 a.m. I have a meeting with the MakerX team, which are the developers actively working on AlgoKit. They're in Australia, which is nice. After this meeting, I do some research, check and triage issues, look at the competition, because it's always important not only to see the issues you face, but also issues other frameworks for other layer one blockchains face, simply because we can simply anticipate problems. Algorand is a different and special L1 compared to a lot of other competitors, but the developer experience is one and only. So a lot of issues devs face them all around different chains. Then, as soon as the US East Coast wakes up, I start meeting with the Inc. team when there's need from the local net sandbox standpoint, triaging a bit of issues. We still have some outstanding grant programs like the C# and .NET SDK that we are working on, so following up a bit on that. And then when the West Coast wakes up, it's usually interacting with marketing. In my free time, I also take care of the developer portal, metrics dashboard, and now I'll gladly add Algorand to my plate.
Wow, exciting stuff. And you are globally working all day long, it seems like. Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
That's good. So you're product guy then, right?
Yes, officially, yes, I'm a product guy. My title is head of developer tooling. I am a former software engineer. wasn't too good at that, so became product guy. But yeah, so my official mention is product. So I do user stories, research, evaluate possibilities, help with marketing, and yeah.
And where did you come from before joining the Algorand Foundation? Just over a year ago, I think it was, yeah?
It's almost a year. So
Okay.
I joined September 5th.
Okay.
Been a long year, let's say.
Well,
It's
you have accomplished quite a lot. It's pretty cool. So maybe tell us a little bit about what is AlgoRun. I mean, we're here to talk about decentralization today. So I think you built a tool for us.
Yep, absolutely. So Algorand is, you'll see similarities with the approach we've done with AlgoKit. So Algorand is a tool to facilitate setup and execution of Algorand mainnet containers, mainnet nodes. The first MVP, the first iteration, focuses on setting up easily the node and replicably. This means that if on whatever operating system you are, you should be getting the same experience. That, of course, is the key. And as for every product, the first thing you need to do is lay solid foundations on which then you can build fast and iterate fast on top of.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just the beginning. We released it in MVP status. That means it works, but there are quite a few rough edges that we need to smooth before saying to people, yes, let's go have fun and run it in production. But we are, as always, open for feedback.
All right, very good. So in a nutshell, what is your what is your elevator pitch for why AlgoRun?
You can start a node with one command.
Easy.
You can install with one command, and if you have the prerequisites, that we'll talk about it later, and you can run it with one command. If you look at other layer ones, I've done some analysis whilst working on the concept that is AlgoRun. There are usually 2 to 3 pages long of instructions. You'd have to build files from scratch. You had to compile stuff. This isn't, if we want to achieve full decentralization, everyone should do it. Should be able to run a node. Then it's a bit more difficult than proof of work nodes because of the difference in the consensus mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
But the end goal is truly one click. This is an MVP.
All right. Well, let's see it. We got the basics down. So have you got a demo for us?
Absolutely. I'm
All
ready
right.
to
Let's do it.
demo it for you. So as you can see, at the moment, we don't have Algorand installed. So let's walk it through it. For the devs joining us, if you have AlgoKit set up, you already have all the dependencies. So you will need Docker, and that you can see here on the left, and you will need Python with pipex. That's as you can see it here. So to start, you type pipex install Algorand. It will think for a few seconds. And here it's installed. As you can see, it's 0.0.01 beta. It doesn't get more MVP than this. Once it's installed, you can access the Algorand CLI tool, as you can see from here. As we are suggesting, you should run a node. You should create a directory named Algorand and CD into it, simply because this will help you keeping track of your container. And to start to download a node, you should simply run AlgoRun start. What this will do is scanning for the latest AlgoD Docker image, downloading it, as we can see.
And this is all in real time. Like this is what I should expect. Okay.
Test in production. It's the only way to do certain things, especially for demos. There is no thing hidden behind the scenes. You can see that we don't have local images stashed and everything. This is how you should expect, give or take, given your internet connection. So started. The node is now catching up to the latest ledger state. You can now see here from Docker desktop that you have an Algorand directory with the mainnet node running. If you want to check the node status, you can either do goal node status. Algorand goal node status is the command. This will print how far along you are with catching up to mainnet. If you want to have it persistent, you pass the flag -w1000, and it will simply call Algorand goal node status every 1,000 milliseconds, which makes it every second. And as you can see, it updates. So this, at the moment, is pretty much it. We have seen how it starts. Of course, for persistence sake, if you check in the directory, you will have the config.json file, which tells the Docker container to mount the data for the node externally. So we have data here. This ensures that if you wipe your container by accident, you still have the data, and you don't need to start from complete scratch. And yeah, this is pretty much the MVP.
Nice. Well, good stuff. I really appreciate you showing us a little bit about what AlgoRun is all about. Okay, so typically, how long does it take to come in sync?
All right, so this is where we talk a bit about the dependencies and the trade-offs that we have currently at the moment. To come in sync, if with this, it usually takes 2 hours, pretty much. The main blocker that we have here is how Docker deals with writing to disk files, which is not a perfect solution at the moment. But depending on when you downloaded Docker, one thing I suggest is if you go into the Docker settings, you choose file sharing implementation for your containers. If you have gRPC views, please switch to VirtuoFS. It's way faster. With VirtuoFS, it will take a couple hours. With gRPC views, it will take way longer, like magnitudes of time difference.
All right. Is that not the default one then?
Nope. So it's default if you have downloaded Docker, I think within the past month.
Okay.
Before it was gRPC views. It just recently came out of beta as an implementation. So
right.
this is one of the trade-offs that we have. Docker, for the time being, is a hard dependency that we have.
Mm-hmm.
We are actively looking at different options to not have our users use Docker. There is a bit of bickering within the Docker community on its future, so we don't feel like it might be as stable as it looked like, let's say, a year ago. Okay. So we are actively looking, and if people also have suggestions on things that we could explore to replace Docker, we are extremely happy to listen to them.
Okay, great. And about that, so where is the best place to provide that feedback or get in contact with you on this particular product?
All right, so I will a few places. I will open a discussion tab in the AlgoRun GitHub repo. This simply to have a discussion in public. If you have any feedback or any questions that you don't want to air publicly, everyone has their own preferences. You can directly DM me on Twitter. That is the best possible way to reach me. Unfortunately, Discord is a lost cause. There are too many notifications, and it doesn't work. So on Twitter, I am the most responsive.
Okay, very good. Twitter is most, and we see your Twitter handle right here in your name plaque right here. Okay, very good.
@Loden_.
And then the GitHub repo where this is found. Can you show us the webpage or take us there?
Absolutely. So let me grab it here. github.com/Algorand Foundation/AlgoRun.
Okay, so
I would
easy.
like to thank already the three people that raised issues of quirky behaviors. This is what MVP is all about: testing and fixing stuff quickly so that we can all improve faster.
All right, very good. So github.com/Algorand Foundation/AlgoRun. I like how
Yeah.
we have AlgoRun and also AlgoKit. So we got to have, nice short names. I like that.
I need to find a better naming convention, to be honest.
All right. So, okay. So now we know who to come to when we're thinking about naming. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Tell us again the requirements. You said Docker, but are there other requirements as well?
At the moment, it's pipex is a requirement, which is a better implementation of pip, which is the Python package manager.
Okay.
We do realize that Algorand shouldn't gatekeep people not as familiar as with the command line as it is as of now.
Mm-hmm.
So we are also evaluating the possibilities to compile binaries so that you can install them with a file like on windows.exe and on mac.dmg. This is also something I would like to talk with the community about. The roadmap for Algorand is completely open. You are free to suggest everything. We are building this tool for you because we all will have to run Node, or it's a nice thing to do to support the network. So if you have any ideas, if you I don't know, if you want to implement it, like some community members are already doing, some community members are building front ends for node management. If you have implementation requests or ideas on how to better meet to better meet your needs, please leave them in the comments, leave them in GitHub, DM me. I am extremely open to suggestion. At the end, we are building this for you guys.
Oh, great. Nice, nice. Well, that's the exciting part that I'm really impressed with is the fact that you build it out there. Everything we do is open source, of course, within
Yeah.
within Algorand, both Algorand Inc. and Algorand Foundation. All the tooling, all of the protocols are always open source, and we do want that engagement with you. It's easy, and I think that you will. I think you said you've already had three. Any coming in as issues or as feature requests. And I know on AlgoKit we've also had some actual contributors as well. So I would assume we'll probably get some contributors here, right?
Yes, I am open to everyone. Just simply because it's under the Algorand Foundation org doesn't mean it's not a product owned by the entire community.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to reach out, pull requests, issues, feature requests. I'm extremely happy to hop on a call if you want to brainstorm. We're
That's good.
building this for you.
Well, let's see if I can't get some questions. Pull them up from the chat, and let's see what we can do here. Let's see here. All right. So when Reddit tutorial?
Reddit tutorial soon. We are working on the Reddit tutorial guide for Fred. This is also something that I'd like to have your feedback on. We are at the moment the Reddit tutorial will be CLI based because this is the state of the art as of now with the development. You will have to interact with the Go command line. So as in the interest of testing, absolutely we should be releasing it tomorrow. The Reddit guide. What we are hoping to do is quite quickly to iterate and have wrappers for commands that for interacting with the Go CLI, so that it won't feel as difficult or as complicated like many people might feel when dealing with a command line. So it'll still be command line, but way less hands-on. And then the next step, of course, is integrating with front ends.
Okay.
Which will completely remove the necessity of running command line tools.
So does AlgoRun include the AlgoD APIs as well?
AlgoD API at the moment is not exposed. We are planning to expose it so that exactly the front ends can interact with the node directly on your local machine.
Okay.
So just imagine you go to your favorite protocol that you're already used to, it's you've already authenticated with, and all of a sudden you can run and monitor your node and interact with your node from there. So this is something that I liked a lot, seeing that the community is coming together and willing to support this initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, AlgoD API exposure it's on the roadmap. It's on my to-do list for next week, I think.
Very good. All right. How about for participating in consensus? What is that in AlgoRun today?
Yes, you can register keys. You can create consensus participation keys and register keys within Algorand. Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately it's through the Go CLI for the
Okay.
time being.
Okay. So from AlgoRun, you are running actual goal commands to get into that container to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of the documentation that's available for
I have it here at
yeah. Okay.
developer.algorand.org/docs/run-a-node/participate.
All right. Very good. All right, so that all of this documentation then applies to AlgoRun. So
Yeah.
once you get your node up and synced, you can then create the participation keys here. Does that mean then that AlgoRun includes KMD as well?
KMD is disabled by default, simply because you shouldn't be exposing KMD wallet in production. There are a few security measures that you should take before enabling KMD.
Mm-hmm.
So for the time being, it's logged off. But we are evaluating if the front ends come to be, there won't be no need, because you can submit the transaction through Pera, through Exodus, through DFly, through whatever wallet you prefer.
Okay. So can you walk us through? Do you have a demo of doing participation? I know that node isn't in sync yet, so maybe not. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've just restarted the node, so
Yeah,
no.
fair.
But if tomorrow there will be the guide out, and I will
Okay.
be also doing video tutorials on Windows, Mac, and Linux
All right.
for our community, so that they all can have a visual guide.
All right. Very
for it.
good. Where are you going to host that on the AlgoDevs YouTube channel, or where are you going to plan to
That
do
is
it?
my plan.
All right, very good. Don't forget, everybody. I know we got lots joining on the AlgoDevs YouTube channel, but if you're not, make sure that you like and subscribe to youtube.com/@AlgoDevs, and there we are broadcasting this live. We're broadcasting on Twitter and Discord as well. Although unfortunately, I may have for the second week in a row screwed up the Discord piece, so I'm really going to try to figure out and get Discord sorted, because I know lots and lots of AlgoDevs are there. So glad you guys are all here. And if you do have questions, you can put them into the chat on whichever platform you are at, and then this piece of software kind of grabs them together, and I can see them here. So taking a look at some other questions here from this. Let's see here. We've got people joining from around the world, which is lovely to see here.
Hi, everyone.
What you said that that AlgoRun is available for all platforms, so no problem if you're running on Windows, Mac, or Linux. What type of computing hardware would you recommend, or what's required?
8 gigs of RAM as a minimum will be nice, simply because AlgoD is an important piece of software to run. So you want to be sure that you have a bit of headspace in case spike happen. So, and a decently modern CPU, something that is from the past 6 years should work.
Okay.
And also a nice thing that it's to point out, because I've encountered it whilst building Algorand. Please be sure that your sleep settings on your laptop, you disable the flag to stop Wi-Fi or hard disk writing. Otherwise, you will have to start from scratch every time it falls asleep.
Aha, that was
which
good.
is yeah, it took me a while to understand it.
Okay, so that was actually my next question, which is, what happens if your node goes offline?
It will restart the fast catch-up process.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So it would remember where it was at that point, but then use fast catch-up then to just jump ahead.
Mhm. Exactly.
Okay, okay. Let's
We've been
see.
seeing some differing behaviors on this, so this is something that is still a point of friction that we're fixing as of now, but
Mhm.
it's the intended behavior is that, yeah.
All right, good. Um, let's see here. Is anybody working on a front end to make it easy to stake your tokens on other people's nodes?
I think I think there is D13, if I remember correctly, that
Okay.
was offering for people to delegate their participation keys to his or her node,
Mm-hmm.
um, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, there are, I know of front ends that are building uh, for actually node management, but for staking keys on third party nodes, I am not too sure, to be honest.
Okay. I'm not either. Let's see here.
If you are doing it, by the way, reach out. Would love to get a look at it.
Yeah, definitely. That would be outstanding if we could have that happen. Um, let's see here. Here's a question about how is this? How does AlgoRun compare to Sandbox, or
Okay, so
what's it?
Sandbox itself is a it contains three different Docker images, which is AlgoD, the indexer, and something that I don't and yeah, and the database for the indexer. So Sandbox is way more heavy. AlgoD is AlgoD, which is the container that runs the mainnet node, is part of Sandbox, but Sandbox is many more things. With the difference between Sandbox and this is that we've configured it to work and mount to and write to your disk instead of keeping everything within siloed within the container, so that if by accident you delete the container, you don't lose all your data. It's best practice measure. And also we have configured it with the great work on the Ink side from Anne, Juan, Will, and the overall Ink team. We have AlgoD profiles, so there it's configured for participation directly. But Sandbox is for network testing and debugging. This is to actually run a node.
Okay, all right. And then AlgoKit is the other product that you are overseeing, which also has nodes inside of it, but
Yeah.
those are more dev focused. So maybe do a little compare contrast AlgoKit, AlgoRun.
Yeah, so AlgoKit, the local net of AlgoKit is the sandbox. So AlgoD is configured in dev mode. It's simply built different in a sense. So you have features that you can stop, start, and control and debug way better in with AlgoKit LocalNet. And whilst this is meant to be a standalone image that runs, you keep it in a server or in a laptop that is always on, and you leave it there. LocalNet is made for debugging, so there are the same piece of software can do multiple things. One is
Mhm.
geared towards development, one is geared towards running nodes in production.
So AlgoRun, what type of a node? When I type in AlgoRun start, what
Yeah,
type of node is being
a
started?
participation node. A
Okay,
participation node. Yeah.
okay. And then, so then it is connecting to the relays upstream, just using the default settings and connecting upstream. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if I want, I can configure it to be to put my accounts online. If I want to, that's separate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess there was a question about is the laptop then the best choice for running a participation, no, participating in consensus
Mhm.
if it is prone to going offline. Like,
So ideally, this is a difference between. I think the gold standard for one-click nodes is Umbrel for Bitcoin,
okay.
which is a beautiful image that you can flash on your Raspberry Pi, install it, log, attack it to a Wi-Fi or Ethernet connection,
Mm-hmm.
and it will simply sync the Bitcoin blockchain. But in this case, on how proof of stake works, if your laptop goes offline without registering offline, you're actively risking to endangering the security of the network. So it's a laptop might be good, but you need to take real care, because your lights, the electricity can go out, and all of a sudden you've registered offline. In other proof of stake networks, you would incur into slashing, which
Mm-hmm.
is penalization for the service. This doesn't happen in the Algorand consensus, but it still means you risk endangering the network. So ideally, it's everyone can run a node. Of course, if you deeply care about it, having it in a server where they have redundant power supplies, redundant ISP connection, because your internet could go down and it will be the same problem. That would be ideal, but everyone can run a node. And if you know the best practices, if you run a node responsibly, it's all the better for the network.
Okay.
But something we're exploring also is for AlgoRun, AlgoKit, better naming conventions needed, is maybe have it pop up if you are shutting down your laptop, have it pop up like saying, "Hey, the node is running. Are you sure you want to?" And that reminds you that you should register offline. So
Okay.
this is also something we're exploring. Difficult to make it happen cross platforms on all different operating systems, but everything is possible.
Absolutely. All right. Very cool. All right. So Algorand Foundation is producing this software.
Mhm.
Are they intending to provide any hardware? You had said, a Raspberry Pi was capable of running it for Bitcoin. Is it capable of running on a Raspberry Pi, and is the foundation thinking of supporting it to that level, or?
This is an excellent question. I still haven't tested it on Raspberry Pi. Theoretically, Raspberry Pi with 8 gigs of RAM, which are quite rare this day, should be enough. But I will test it I think in a week I'll have the 8 gigs version come to my place. So I will test it and let the community know.
Okay. Very good. All right. I'm looking in here for any other questions that we might have along this. Sounds like a virtual private server might be viable, where you could have those redundancies built into a service provider in the cloud.
Exactly.
Okay.
That would be the ideal go-to. But of course, a virtual private server is more expensive than running your own laptop.
Yes, exactly.
There are cost benefits and pros and cons to everything.
All right, good. All right, well, Alessandro, what are you looking for out of AlgoRun going forward?
Well, I would like to see the node counter that we have on metrics.algorand.org increase. I
Mm-hmm.
would like to see a lot of stake online, of course, responsibly put online, so not go there and forget it. And for Algorand in general, I am looking forward to integrating the front ends and hearing community feedback on how they want to shape this product into what they really need.
Good. All right. And where is going to be the best place for the community to connect with you and get that feedback to you?
At Luden_ on Twitter. Otherwise, I will be setting up a discussion section on GitHub right after this call. So we can openly discuss and have everyone's feedback right in there.
All right, wonderful. Well then, Alessandro, head of tooling here at the Algorand Foundation, thanks for joining us on the Algorand Proof of Stake show and showing us how easy it is for algo devs to set up and run a node on the Algorand network.
Thank you for having me, Ryan. It's been a pleasure.
Wonderful. Well, Algo devs out there, thank you for joining, and we will do this again next week. We hope you will come on back, join us on Twitter, Twitch, and hopefully on Discord as well. Oh, don't forget YouTube. Yes, of course. YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. YouTube.com/@AlgoDevs. Right. So, all right. Until next time, Algo devs, have fun building an Algorand. Let's see here. Where's the end button here?